Calling you a radical. Let's get right to this. Why is the media not covering the Charles Lieber trial? It was a major story. He has ties with the Wuhan lab. So we have a Reuters sighting for the first one, but this is the first time I've seen a New York Times. You know, the trial's on today, right now. The paper, the Crimson, which is the Harvard paper's been reported. I've been following along. And now this is Reuters, you know, this is lies, you know. So let's set the table. He runs the Harvard lab, which is a biological lab. These serious ties with China. Now this is important what he said today in court. Okay, why is he supposedly hooked up with this lesser Chinese lab? He says, well, everybody wants to win a Nobel Prize. And it shows you how rigged the Nobel Prize is given. Obama needs to give his back. So David Swensen, world-renowned hedge fund manager of the Harvard Endowment, okay? These incredible returns that he averaged about 12% in his lifetime, has died of leukemia this year. Now, he's in the same business that I used to be in. I used to help manage Weber State's endowment. Of course, I got voted out. This dude was sharp as a tack, boy. He would roll puts. So this is important because in court today, Charles Lieber said the reason he got tied in that he wanted to win a Nobel Prize was taking cash with this lab, the Wuhan lab. You know, he got caught with literally brown paper bags of tens, hundreds of thousands of $100 worth of cash coming in through the airport, and he lied. And they had video. Video killed the lies. And so he said today, well, Harvard has to spend the money. By law, by their charter, they have to spend X amount. There's the guy that made all the money. We see where he is, sadly died of the same disease that I have, AML leukemia. So anyway, so inside the lab, and I was talking to a young woman today, and she was telling me how she has nothing to do with Facebook, blah, blah, blah. I says, I use it for a storage shed. It's a great storage shed to store digital stuff. And then I'm like, you got Instagram? Yeah. What do you think calls Instagram? They're one and the same. It's a storage shed. I mean, we got to store digital content somewhere. And so, don't want to get me going on that. But he says, got to spend the money. So he was asked in court Friday, well, where's the money? Where's the money? Now, the New York Times is what I call panty pane black and yellow media. You know, black and yellow media. I'm the guy that termed that term. I've termed about, this is the most panty painted freaking piece I've ever read. In Boston court, harsh spotlight falls on heavyweight of science. It doesn't mention, you know, Chinese tests. Doesn't mention the Wuhan lab. Yes, the timing and coincidence. Oh boy. If this is, I mean, it's a sighting on the trial. That's barely even touching it. Reuters finally touched it today a little bit for the first time, really. And so he was asked in court Friday, what did you do with the money? Spent it on groceries. Well, that dude eats good. I mean, does that dude eat good? So, don't you think this is going to be a massive... He has ties here in Utah. The BYU lab, the BYU chemistry, that gets back to this at BYU. So, they call them unicorns down there. The guy who bought the Jazz, he's a Silicon Slopes unicorn. Well, let me show you this unicorn. There's Marshall, who I was in the bone marrow transplant center next to. I love that guy. He died of cancer. Right here. He went off on the Mormon church, withdrew, took his money. He's a billionaire. Yeah, tech billionaire. So, but anyway, the chemistry lab, or the chemistry department at BYU, the dean is Lieber's buddy. He always covers for Lieber. He used to in the media when the media was covering Lieber. So, simply, why is Main Street media not all over this trial? It's a big deal. Just the coincidence and the timing of it alone. You know, I don't think people, they don't live in the world I live in. These labs. I reckon, the Ricken lab. Remember we bombed that out after, in World War II. Well, they're back in Japan. You know, the Wuhan lab, Livermore, that's where Kamala Harris's mom, she died of cancer. It was an epidemiologist in Livermore. I protested her a lot. I don't national. Whoa, my buddy bought the Atomic City Bar. I know everything that goes on up there. Whoa. New scale, they're advertising all over KSL, by the way, here in Utah. There's no such thing. Manhattan Project, Knoxville, Tennessee, Megan Rice. I can go on and on and on and on. This is such a major story, this trial, yet no one's really covering it. He was arrested by the FBI a couple months before COVID broke out, coming from the Wuhan lab with suitcases of cash. So he wanted to create young, it's like a guy I was talking to the other day said he wanted to create young, at Idaho National Lab, he wanted young Einsteins. And I got into a big argument with this young Einsteins. Einstein was a peace activist. He was an anti-nuker. And you work for the lab? You're confused, dude. He was a Quaker. He was an anti-nuker. So, how's it going these days? Good, good, good. So, I'll get back to it. Getting anything accomplished these days?
Not much.
So, this is another giant story. I'll do another video about this. So remember, in 2000, they were supposed to put one a month of these on. One a month. I want to do 2 videos because I want to keep this separate. We'll get to this. Stay tuned.